Okay, I'm on YouTube. I'm heading to Facebook. As soon as you hear the music, you know it's down.
All right.
Man, and we back for another one. I'm here with my girl, my main girl, Fitness by Nori. What's up, baby?
What's up? What's up? Gee, I don't know if I like that old main girl type of thing. Like I'm not, a side or a main.
No,
I'm the
You
only
know,
one you entertain. You know what I'm saying?
right. But I'm saying with my main girl, like, yo, you use the main feature of the feature.
Already.
You know what I'm saying?
How you been doing, G?
Man, just chilling, baby.
What this week look like for you?
Really, just trying to put things together, trying to better my presentation on the shows. You know what I mean? Like I said, I cut down a lot of stuff because it was too many moving parts going on with people and all that. And they wasn't real serious about what they were doing. So it got to a point where, I had to be serious about what I was doing. So that gave me more time to concentrate on making our presentation even better than what it is.
Already. Sometimes, we think that it's a bad thing when God cuts stuff out and make us by ourselves and isolate us, if you will. But that gives us time to think, and of course, COVID showed us that, right?
Right.
So I think that's good. I didn't have too much going on this week. You was talking about my voice before we came on. You know
real
what I'm
raspy,
saying?
real
Because
Busta Rhyme-ish.
I'm a lot more raspier than I normally am. But in my classes, I get a little hype and I get a little excited and I laugh a lot and people tend to tell me that I have a really hearty laugh, whatever that means.
Yes.
But I laugh kind of, I guess, hard. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, during my classes and stuff like that,
I sense this since Atlanta.
You what?
I sense you're changing your voice since you came back from Atlanta. I don't know what happened out there. You don't tell a story.
No, sir. No, you ain't. My voice always raspy, G. But whatever. Anyway, so in my classes, I laugh and act crazy and I holler and do crazy stuff. So anyways.
I got to come down there.
I had class last night and that's what, that's probably where it came from.
Yeah,
so
I think I'm going to join your fitness.
I think you should.
Yeah, now that I got a lot of people out the way, I probably can catch one of those days when normally I'd be locked in here. So I'm gonna start planning. My birthday's coming up in a few weeks.
When your birthday, G?
November the 3rd.
November 3.
November.
Hey.
Yeah. So I think that'll be my change right there.
When baby take her pictures, you know how we do a peace sign? She always do 3. I be like, why is she doing 3? She's not 3 years old. So I don't know.
Maybe she want to be 3.
No, she don't. She want to be 23, but she always throw up a 3. Maybe she's 3,000, right? She out of our time frame. Who knows, child?
Yeah.
That little one. Anyways, but yeah, G, you got a birthday coming up. Anything you got? You planning anything?
No, just changes in my life.
Just changes.
Yeah. Even better changes.
Okay.
Once you see the light, your mission is to get to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of us see the light, but we don't reach out to get it. Light's not going to come to us. So even more and more, I've seen, what God has done for me, all these years and what he's doing for me now, through the radio and, all of the TV and all that different stuff and the people that's in my life that's connected to me, So, I got to be better now, because I got to be better for all of us.
Yeah. They say when you know better, you do better.
Right.
But that's just an assumption because if you don't implement the things you know, then you don't do better. So.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm definitely in on, just trying to better the things that I'm doing in life.
Okay. So nothing in particular as far as a party, dinner, your girlfriend,
no,
showing you nothing special.
No. All they can show me is that they supporting me on what I'm trying to do because I think I'm really doing something positive, and that's all. I don't want no birthday cake. I don't want nothing. I just want people to be all the way committed in
Okay.
to
And
what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to leave a
Alright.
legacy, so, somewhere along the line, we got to leave something for the next generation to be able to work off of. Otherwise,
At some point.
we stuck forever in a hole and don't even know how to get out of it.
That's right. That's right. We got to do something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for me, I ain't had too much going on this weekend. I didn't. And I don't have a birthday coming up or nothing, I'm just happy about life. I don't know. Everything is just, it seems so peaceful. And I know, that we kind of cited it like I'm tired, right?
Right.
But it's like it's just kind of, I think we get tired so that we can just kind of relax a little bit. I know we always have something to say about Els or whatever, about baby. We didn't have too much going on this weekend. This week. I'm sorry. Her mom was taking her to school.
Well, how did the fair go? Because last week you was talking about taking her to the fair. How did that go?
It went real well. Like when we take her to the fair, like she usually kind of goes by herself because she's an only child, right? And so she's spoiled and it's her way or the highway. So like last year we did take her by herself. She did end up going with her cousins and stuff though too, but she got the chance to go by herself so she can do what she wants to do. So this year we did the same thing as well. We took her and she was able to do everything she wanted to do and ride. And she has been talking about this Ferris wheel all year. And she got a chance to ride the Ferris wheel. Her mom she's not too particular about heights. So when baby was trying to get on her knees and look around and stuff, and her mom was like, no, sit down. I was like, that's okay. I got her. Like, you just take care of you so that,
Right.
because she doesn't like heights. And she was like, oh,
Neither do I.
she gonna be okay. I got her, so yeah. But I'm taking my godson today and another one of the young ladies that I love dearly. I mentor her and her mother trains in my class and stuff. And so I'm taking them to the fair today. The last day is Sunday and I shan't be out there on the last day of the fair. I shall not. No.
You ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah, regardless to have anything to do, I would not be at
Do
the
it normally
fair
be crazy?
on the last day
It'd be
because
crazy?
yeah, people get crazy from what we were at the fair, if I'm not mistaken, the same day that we took baby to the fair that evening because we took her early on. But that evening they said something happened at the fair. So I just
was that the day that there was a shooting
yeah.
or something?
So I just
And this is what's so crazy, it's another thing that when I first came here to Dallas, it was so much to do and so many places that you can go. Even though I didn't go to the clubs, the club scene was off the chain.
Yeah.
These kids have shot up everything.
Yeah.
Just is nowhere you really can go. Soon they are not even gonna let the schools start to come down for Fair Day. They're gonna cut that out because that is connected pretty much to the first time the high school came out, and that's when the beef went down.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's a shame.
It's crazy. And I do, excuse me, believe that the enemy wants us, and when I say the enemy, I'm talking about that stuff that goes on inside of our head,
Right.
Wants us to live in fear. And I was talking to one of my girlfriends, and we were talking about that, and I have babies saying that now, like we're not afraid of anything. Think about it. Why be afraid of anything? The only thing a person can do, right, that's really substantial is like take your life, right?
Right.
If you're gonna be dead, you're not gonna feel it no way, right? You'll feel it in the process of that happening, but once it's over, it's over. So the only thing that can happen is that, right? So I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm not people like, well, you're afraid of rats. I'm not afraid of rats or snakes. I just don't deal with them. And it's some human rats and snakes too. I just don't deal with them, So I think that's the thing that to make us live in fear. Think about what happened on 9/11, right? And we celebrate that every year.
Right.
They were trying to make us they were terrifying us, right? It's called a terrorist attack, right? They were terrifying us and causing us to live in fear. We don't want to go nowhere where there are large crowds. We don't want to, just live in fear. And I don't see how we can live our lives like that. I talked to somebody once before, and I was saying how when you look at movies and they have that person stuck in the house, and there's somebody outside the house just tormenting them and going to every window and knocking on the windows and different stuff like that. Child, go on and get this killing over with. Here I come. I'm coming outside. I'm not fit to stay in here and run from room to room.
Yeah, I'm not fearful of death because I'm closer to it now than I was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So I can deal with that side.
How do you know?
Well, because I would look at the fact that if I'm here at 101, I probably won't want to be here. When I no longer can make an impact in the world, my time is up. I don't want to sit around and nobody have to take care of me. None of that. I don't want that.
Right.
So when I get to that level, I have done my time. Long as I can move and do things, I'm going to always put that word out. I'm going to be a piece of knowledge for young people and even older people. Because just because you old, that don't mean you know something. You know, so I'm always going to give that type of love and opportunity for others to know some of the things that I do know. See, a lot of people, they ain't never been anywhere. So that's why they know. You got cats that think that the culture of Dallas is all over. No, it isn't. You go different places, people are different. Right. People think different. Right. People unite different. Here is a lack of unity. Absolutely. And it's not because it's a bunch of weak people. It's more people that just don't care about what's going on. They not involving themselves to want to know what's going on. So, that's my part of what I'm trying to do for my time goes up. So, yeah, I would think that if I got 40 years and I'm going to be 101 years old, I have to be the most busiest 101-year-old dude for me to be satisfied with myself, but sitting in a chair doing nothing and somebody got to feed you Jello pudding.
Yeah. No. Oh, no, not Jello pudding.
It's a wrap,
Well, a body that's in motion stays in motion. So you got to keep moving, and make sure that you keep your fluids and everything around, moving around and all of that. So that's what's up. Well, we are still in the month of October. So, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We talked about this. We've been talking about this every week, telling ladies to please, please, please do your self-exams. Go and get your mammograms. And men, I really don't even want to go and talk about that right now because I don't want G to flip out. But please go and get your prostate checks and all of that, and make sure you get your stomach and your colon checked. Guys, understand this. Once they realize that something is going on with your colon or your stomach as it relates to cancer, it's already almost over. Because it will take over so fast. So those are areas that you want to make sure that you go in and you get checked. So that's why you want to get your checkups, and you want to go ahead and get your exams and stuff done go to your doctor's appointments once a year, go to your mammograms and all of that. Guys, get your prostate check, let them, they gonna just poke and prod,
just make sure he got small fingers.
You do what?
Make sure he got small fingers.
Or use one big finger, okay? Just go get checked.
You gotta have small hands, man.
Listen.
I'm looking for a Korean guy or something.
Would you say you would hate for him to be doing the rectal exam and he got his hands on your shoulders?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't want that to happen, all right? So, we're making light of it or whatever, but guys, please go and get checked. Also, the month of October is Domestic Violence Month. You don't have to suffer in silence. There is so many resources out here, so much opportunity for you to get assistance and help in that area. So the one thing that we spoke about is men are being abused at a very, very high rate now as well. I was just looking at a YouTube last night about this young lady. She was dating this guy, and they were showing clips and stuff of how she was beating him up on the elevator and all kind of stuff, and she eventually stabbed him and killed him. So
and this is what I tell You know, people when they, oh, no man should ever hit a woman back. You should defend your life when you know your life is in jeopardy. Just because she's a woman, there's women in prison now for murder. Just like she said, killing. You know, so I'm not going to sit there and be no slapping post for nobody. The minute you as a woman lose your place and you go out there and you put your hands on a man, he may show you what your place is. You know, this, if you don't want to be hit, don't ever hit nobody neither. It goes both ways. A lot, oh, no man should ever put his hand. If that woman is abusing him, he has to protect himself because the weaker they see you, the more the pain comes to you. It's just like if your man is beating on you and you allow it, he's going to beat you for everything now because that's how he keeps control of things. So you have to get away, men and women, get away.
Right. I'm the oldest of a lot of people in my family, my cousins and stuff like that. And I told
They call
them,
you Big Mama.
no, they don't. They absolutely do not in bed now.
You the oldest one, you know what I'm saying?
Look, anyway, but I told one of my cousins, he was in a really abusive relationship. And I told him, well, do your best, like, to get away from her and try not to hit her back or whatever. But I mean, you better push her so hard. So if she fall, she gonna have carpet burn on her buttocks. Like, get away from her. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, if they do it once, you can forgive them or whatever. But if they do that twice, they do it again, they're gonna do it again and again. For me, I will not be with anyone who put their hands on me. That's just me. I've seen it, and I see the outcome of it or whatever. And even if the woman stays with the man, she's going to be pushed to a point at some point to protect herself or defend herself. She may end up taking his life or something like that. Like, it's not worth it to be in a toxic relationship like that. And that goes into, what we're talking about today as it relates to relational fitness and having a good relationship with yourself, setting boundaries so you know what to accept and what not to accept. So make sure you use the resources that are available to you.
Yeah, we put it up on the screen.
We got it on the screen.
If your screen ain't working good for domestic violence, it's 813-247-SAFE. That's 813-247-SAFE. It's also if you want to report child abuse. Now, don't get child abuse twisted. You know what I'm saying? Some people may hit their kid in a spanking way. That's not child abuse. That's that's a spanking. But if you know that some kid is really, getting abused, the number is 800-962-2873.
But as it relates to domestic violence, if children are involved, then children are affected as well. And
exactly.
So that's what that number is for. So, All right, guys, last week we dealt with sexual fitness, okay? And we talked about sexual intercourse as it being sacred and a spiritual act and things like that. And basically, if you think of it in that way, you are giving someone else permission to enter the course of your spirit, all right? Especially ladies, since we are the ones that are entered in, right? And you really have no control of what they might take with them or what they might drop off and leave there, all right? So make sure that you're choosing the right partners, choosing wisely. And all it takes is one time. All it takes is one time for them to basically take up residency in your temple, okay? So that's what we talked about last week. So if you missed it, go back and check out part 1, which was the week before. And we didn't get through it because G just clicked off. He couldn't deal with the no voting, no vucking from Saucy Santana and Trina. He couldn't deal with that. And so we had to make it a part 2, which was last week. We completed that. Let's talk about sex.
I want all our black people to vote just so I don't have to see that video ever again. Start voting. If that's how I get the point across, you made the movement happen. Because I just never, ever want to see that video again. Ever.
Oh, my God. So, guys, go and check out part 1, part 2. Let's talk about sex on Fitness by Nori YouTube, right here on Facebook. So G also has it up on the different stations. G, if you want to explain those, the Global TV network.
We GFN Global Networks, Mighty Media TV. You can get us on Roku TV. You can get us on Amazon Fire TV. You go into your search, you type in Mighty Media TV. That's Mighty Media TV. I'm not even going to spell it to you because I know our people smart enough to know how to spell that. But
Mighty Media TV.
yes, just go there, upload it 24/7. We got great content. We got Fitness with Nori on demand. You know, Pastor Rhonda, Live Tribe of Judah, all different shows we got on demand. So just go on up there and check her out.
Alrighty. All right, guys. So let's get into it. Today's show, we're talking about, I'm a little tired. All right. But
Yeah,
today
you tired. I
I'm
can tell.
tired. We're talking about relational fitness, right? Part of the reason why we'll get into it. But anyway, so one of my friends reached out to me and he was like, you should talk about loving someone but not in love with them. Right. And so a lot of people don't know the difference. What I told him was, hey, why don't you come on here and rock with me? Come vibe with me. Talk about it. He was like, today? Ain't that what you said? You said?
Right.
So he didn't want to come. So that's okay. I have someone that is well equipped in the seat as well. G can rock with us on this. So when looking it up, simply put, loving means how the person makes you feel. And being in love means how you make them feel. That at least that's what it said when I looked it up. All right. And so when it's a common mistake that people make often when it comes to love, right? When someone is asked, why do you love this person? They often respond with, I like how they make me feel.
Right.
Often that's how we do. Like, why you love them? This how they make me feel. They make me feel this. They make me
A
feel
good
that.
bath will do the same thing.
Huh?
A good bath will do the same thing.
Gee, you own one today.
Yeah, because
you own it.
you're going off your emotions of feeling. Love is not that.
Correct. That answer is fine. It's okay, but it doesn't mean you are in love with the person. It just means that you love them. If you are more concerned about how you make your partner feel, then it's really, to me, it's not true love.
No.
You could say that true love means being unselfish and putting your partner before you, and that's just my thoughts about it. What about you?
Well, I'm going to tell you a short story about what love is.
Okay, short story.
Back in the Gap in the 80s, when I was out on the street hustling, I was hustling with a cat. I'm not going to say his name, but he was...
Please don't.
He was a cool brother. He got shot up, and he ended up paralyzed. Now, him and his girl were together, they were rocking hard. That was like his partner in crime when he was doing his thing back then. This is probably like 88, somewhere along the line. Mm-hmm. So recently when I went back to New York, I happened to see him. His girl was pushing him in a wheelchair. And that's love. That's a connection no matter what the situation is. They were bonded. See, you got to fall in love mentally, not physically. I've had physical relationships most of my life. Eventually, they go away for no reason at all. Could be great sex between the two of you.
Right.
But that goes away because maybe that woman one day finds her soulmate that wants more than what I want. And it just goes away.
Right.
See, but when you have that mental hold on someone, those years, even though he probably can't do a third of the things he used to do, she was mentally in love with him because she knew when he was that dude, he took care of home and all that.
Well, that's what they say. Like, you can't choose who you fall in love with.
Right.
But when you love somebody, you can choose to love them or not. You have all the power when it comes to loving somebody. You make a decision based on their personality and you choose to trust their abilities or whatever and their morals, right? But if things do not work out, then you also had a right to walk away, you know, and to say that I don't want to love them no more, or I don't want to do this. Like you have that choice. But the same can be said when you're in love with someone.
Right.
You know, if you fall in love with someone, it can just happen at any time. Like, you don't know, there's no specific thing that happens, or no, so you know, the sex wasn't that amazing, or you know, the fact that they held your hand. Like, it, when you fall in love with someone, you don't know what that particular thing is that happened to make it happen, right? It was no warning signs, no nothing. It's just something that happens.
But
And you can't walk away from somebody if you're in love with them. You just can't walk
Right.
away. And if you ever break up with them, that's still gonna carry with you. You're still gonna have it like in your heart. You know, it's a feeling that sticks with you. It's gonna be there forever. That's why I say, if you've ever been in love with somebody, you know it, because it's still there, even years later.
Right. I mean, because a lot of times, even when I talk to one of my children's mother, or they hit me on the inbox, we always say, I love you afterwards. We're not together. We haven't been together in years, but that bond never went away. You know, sometimes we just grow up and grow apart.
But you said some of your kids' mom, like, it's not, you don't feel that same thing with all your kids' mom.
Well, I'm just saying.
Because you wasn't in love with all of them.
No, but I'm just saying, it's a love now. It's that other love. That's not that love like, oh, this is my wifey type. That's that love like, you've been in my life so long and I know your spirit is right and all that. I always gonna love you, no matter what. If I have a woman that I marry, she's gonna know that I have love for that woman always. There's that, it's not gonna change. You know.
So, G, you've never been married, right?
No.
Do you have a desire to be married?
And you know, because I don't have a desire for a lot of women in the mess that they carry with them. A lot of women carry more luggage than a traveling salesman today.
What does that mean?
Just, you know, a lot of times you have picked your way into bad relationships prior. You get a good balanced man, you don't even know how to roll with a balanced man because you've been with a man that kept you off balance so long. When you get with one that's balanced, that's almost like nothing you used to. So in order for you to make changes, the things that I've done the last several years, none of this is me. I'm a street dude, gang leader, drug dealer, all that. I had to make major changes in my life to embrace the change that I needed. So if I kept on chasing women that I dated in the 80s, in the early 90s, I wouldn't have dated a woman here in Dallas, because a New York woman is different.
Correct.
They're not the same. So
Correct.
you have to make changes in your life and get away from the things that you have a comfort zone with. Oh, one girl told me, my man was trying to talk to her when we was down in South Dallas at an event, and she was the security girl. She tell him, oh, I only like dark-skinned dudes. And I asked her, I said, well, you got a man? She said, no. I said, then damn, it ain't working for you.
I mean, but you don't believe that it's okay for women and men to have preferences?
Well, I'm just saying, when you get past a certain level in your life, the preference go out the window. If you running around looking for a girl that look like Beyonce, and you start getting in your 50s, what would a girl look like Beyonce want your ass for? You got to understand.
Money.
Well, then if that's what you want to do, go out there and trick. Then when she trick you all out and you ain't got nothing for your retirement to even live off of, you made stupid decisions for women.
I mean, but do you think it's, so now we're curving this conversation. Do you think it's considered as tricking? Because, wait, let me finish asking my question.
Go ahead.
Because that's what it's been said that men do. They bring to the table, they're providers. So
Right,
even if he have a woman that's in her 50s or whatever, and he's in his 50s, he still has to take care of her.
Let me explain something to you. Women are providers. Every day they go out and they provide a way to live.
I mean, a lot of us do.
Right,
I mean, because now we have no choice. We're single.
Listen, you have to make a smart investment. I can't go out there and try to make a woman's life that ain't even got her stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Right now, if you with anybody, y'all should be building together. If you're not willing to make that investment in a woman that you can build with, you're wasting your money. So if you want to just go head on and date women that look good and just throw all this money across the table, and 6 months later, she done found somebody with a better budget than you. She's gone. So I'm not making bad investments in women where I feel that I got to go out and make her life right. Listen, I'm trying to build something here. What can you come to the table and help me build? Because if we build this together, this is a bigger plan than us living off a paycheck.
And see, that's the whole conversation that has been here lately is men, grown men, 40, 50, 60-year-old men asking women, what do they bring to the table?
Yeah, you got to.
know, and that's been a whole shift in the conversation because women are bringing their own tables now. And they're asking men, what can you do for me? And then men get mad about that as well.
You got to look at that man and see what he does for himself. This is what I try to explain to women. You want a winner? Look how he treats himself. If a man don't treat himself right, how the hell he gonna treat you right?
Absolutely.
You
I
meet
say
this,
the same thing
you
to
meet
women
this guy, he's living from pillar to post,
right?
but then you want to move him in and think he gonna pay your rent. This nigga wasn't paying his own.
Right. And I say the same thing to women too. You know, men look at women and how they take care of themselves, you know, and if you're taking care of yourself and your emotions are in check and your mental health is good, then they feel like that you're a safe space for them, right? And as women, what we tend to do is get a man in and like you say, he's living from pillar to post and you want to help him and you want to build him up and you see all of this potential in him and you want him to do this, that, and the third. Wait a minute, listen. If he don't have that potential for himself and he don't have that grind and that get up and go about himself, it's nothing that you're going to be able to do to make him do that, including very good women. There have been some women that are out there that are able to add to a man's life that could say, hey, you attribute to him and then he makes a shift, he makes a change, right? For me, my ex-husband, when we got together, we were younger, he was, growing and stuff, and I was able to help him by way of his education and help him study and different things like that, right? And push him forward. And his life changed, right? Or our life changed. But there are some men that don't want to do nothing. If I would have gotten with him and I started talking to him about these things and we're working towards these things and he wasn't invested and he wasn't doing the work, I wouldn't have stayed there and invested myself.
Can I say something more?
Because I feel like every person that you come into their lives, you're coming into their lives for a reason to help them or whatever. Go ahead, G.
A lot of women today, y'all like to take on projects, I call them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I had to push him. There's not a man that's a real man that a woman should ever have to push.
That's not necessarily true. If you're talking about being a partner with someone, then that's what we do.
Listen what I'm saying. You could give him the advice in the direction that he's going. But that man that's a real man has already got his direction in order. You know what I'm saying? I have never had a woman that had to sit down and push me to do anything. I drag them along because I don't stop. You see me now as a man that's 60 years old, and you see my work ethic now as a 60-year-old man. Imagine me when I was 25. I was a hustler. I had never had to have a woman sit there and give me a pep talk. Hey, baby, you need to do this. 2 years of my whole 60 years have I worked on a job. 2 years when I came here to Texas.
I think that we're saying the same thing
I'm just saying,
as it relates to, having to encourage someone. So for me, the way that I think that a woman is supposed to, support her partner, her husband, whatever.
But not have to push him. That's all I'm saying. Because who had to push her? Who had to push you?
So like I was trying to say, I believe that a woman is supposed to, encourage her mate. So what happens is we are helpmates, right? So therefore, we're supposed to help them.
Right.
So if he has a vision, if he has some direction, a course in which he's trying to go, and he shares that with her, then yes, a lot of times a man would say that the woman is nagging or whatever, and she's not. She's just keeping you on course with your vision, with what you told her. She's just helping to encourage you and keep, try to keep you encouraged and motivated, because the world will beat you down and you'll go out there and you'll be trying to do stuff and you'll go this away and go that away. And it seems that you're out there grinding and pushing and moving. So you're not looking at the whole picture. You're seeing these moving parts, but she's sitting back and she's like, she can encourage you like, babe, you're doing good. Don't give up. Don't look down on yourself like you did this. What about if you try this, and then you try it and it works? Then she just helped. Not that she's even trying to take any take any credit for it or anything, but that's her job or her role as a helpmate. You know what I'm saying?
I understand everything you just said. But again, that man has to have that inside where he's not going to quit.
Like I said, we're saying the same thing.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, at the end of the day, you have women that I hear that talk to me, talk about, well, he never want to work. He never want to do this. I got to make him do that. See, make him. That's what you do to your children. Mm-hmm. I had to make my kid do this. Right. And a lot of time, these women have baby grown-ass men like their children. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you got to go out there just like here. I'm here in your city. I've never seen Dallas, Texas until I visit.
Right.
At 30 years old. I've been in business for myself now 32 years. Not knowing nobody, don't have no family, didn't have a T. Jones. If I mess up, I could go stay at my T. Jones house and my homeboy work over here. He can hook me up on the job. Our women have become stronger than our men. Simple as that. Mm-hmm. Our men are no longer dreaming. They just doing things. A lot of times people get involved because they see somebody else doing this. You want to do this. Do you what you are great at, and you will be successful eventually. But it takes time. But you should never have to push your man to go get a job, to clean up the house, to do this, to do that. Those are supposed to be the accessories that come with him as a man.
I agree. I mean, me and my girlfriend was talking about this the other day, how a man, I feel like a man should have things already, right? And yes, in this particular world nowadays, because the woman is successful as well. So she has her own house, he has his own house. She has her own car or cars, and he has his own cars. He has a career, she has a career. So me and my girlfriend was talking, and she was saying, well, if the man, doesn't have anything, then he can't help you. And I was like, well, that is true. But at the same time, what is it that you are offering? If you are offering, I'm going to take care of this, I'll do this, I'll pay for that, then of course he's going to come in and he's going to use that.
Right.
Because that's, I was telling her how I was in a relationship before, and I was helping this guy and I was encouraging him to do different things or whatever. This man did not even have his license, and I did not know that. And so I was just like, wait a minute, what is going on? So I started to look into it and stuff, and I found out why. And I was already talking to him or whatever, and so I helped him through that process or whatever. But my cousin, he said, are you gonna marry this guy? And I said, no. And he said, so you do understand that you're helping him be better for the next woman. And so what I told him is, yes, my job is to make sure that anybody I come in contact with, whether it's male or female, anybody that I come in contact with is better having dealt with me. And that's how I feel. I feel that we are here to help each other and encourage each other. But would I marry him? Absolutely not. He didn't have his business together. And then what would happen is I would be the woman that's sitting there taking care of everything. And like you said, I would have to encourage him if he was to fall to get a job and to do this and do. I would have to push for it. I would be stressed out. I'm not doing that.
That come from our women have turned our young men into weak-ass men. The women have done it.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to even say young men, because some of the men are older, too.
Right, but it started at a certain point where these women started protecting their children.
Correct.
You don't want him to go out and experience anything. You don't want this. You don't want that. You want to give him everything. You're buying him expensive sneakers. This is a grown-ass teenager should be out there working his job to get the things he wants. You're giving it to him.
Right.
So what happens is, after a certain amount of years, from being a young kid on up to a young teenager to a young man, mama's buying everything for you. So you get that mold to where you go into a relationship, you used to being taken care of by a woman.
Correct. And then it shifted also with the young women, because we were teaching our young women that you can't depend on a man because they're not going to be there. They're out here selling drugs
And they going
doing
out
whatever.
getting jobs to get they dough.
Let me. I couldn't hear you because I was still talking.
Yeah.
So I couldn't hear you. Give me a second. But they're going to go to jail and different stuff like this, and they're not going to be there. And so you have to be able to provide for these babies that that you have together, and they're not there or whatever. So you have to be strong and independent, and you have to get the jobs and stuff like that. Not to mention, it was systematically set up for them to separate us anyways, So I can't get welfare and stuff like that, or any type of aids, or, assistance or anything like that if the man is in the house. So he has to go away, or I have to loan the application or whatever the case may be in order to get assistance. And they're making it more difficult for him to get a job because he's in and out of jail, and he's hustling and doing the only thing that he knows to do because that's what he wants to do out here in the world, right? Go ahead.
If mama had the same talk with the son, like she told the daughter, you got to do, she didn't tell the daughter go sell drugs and do it. You know what I mean? So the son, if he end up selling drugs, who told him to do that?
But there are mothers that are telling their sons the same things. We have a choice in our minds. This is just like you, when you and I had the conversation too about New York. This is the way, if I got to go to school and I'm going to get the slow road to getting money or whatever versus me out here and I'm seeing my boy over here, he's making all this money and he's got money every day. I'm going to go and try to do this and help out mama, because we don't have anything.
Yeah, I hear that. But in the end, mama's helping you out because you in prison. So that's a lost game that hasn't worked for too many of nobody that got off into the drug game. Who that you can look and say, oh, he's been a real great success doing it. It doesn't work that way. But all I'm saying is we have to give our sons the same option our parents gave us when we were young. Nigga, be out of here by 18. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Our parents wasn't trying to have two men. My mama wasn't going to have me and her man in the house together.
Right. And nowadays, they don't do that. Nowadays, this particular culture or generation, they didn't put their kids out at 18. They didn't put their kids out at 30.
Right.
I know some 30-year-old women with children and everything still staying at home with their mothers. I know some 30, 40-year-old men with children still living with family. And it's just that it's befuddling to me that nobody wants to be grown in their own right? But they want to be grown in your stuff.
Right. But, some
when you grown, you get out and don't get your own.
Yeah, but some of it is just loneliness. Mama holds on to the children because her life ain't where she wants it to be.
Right.
So she hold on to that. She doesn't have that man in her life. If she had that good man in her life, she'd be pushing everybody ass out because she want her and her man to have space.
Right.
So a lot of them just didn't make it to where they want to be. They hold on to the kids.
I agree. So we're going to stop right there, G. Look, we have not taken a break or anything.
No, and we at almost 40 minutes, so we're going to take us a quick break. Because when things is rolling, sometimes you don't take a break, and we just got to let it be said.
Yeah, we got to let it flow. That was a real
good conversation because it's going on, it's happening, and it scares me what's going to happen in 10 years.
But we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and we're going to pick it up right there with these boys being babied by their moms and the moms not getting rid of the kids and all of that because she don't have nobody. So let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable and with you when you had your heart broken. They were with you when you shared your love with the world and with you when she became your world. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them?
You don't know my name.
I know your hip flexors may be getting tight. That's okay. That's part of the exercise. Come on, push through.
From here, we have straight leg toe touches,
Gonna take those legs in the air, and we're gonna touch those toes. Last exercise, guys. We have the 6-inch static hold. You guys are doing awesome. We are there. Come on. Let's hold it. Make sure you breathe. Keep your abs tight. And we are done with those abs. We ran that twice, okay? You can run it back 4 times for a total of 10 minutes. You can run it back 8 times for a total of 20 minutes. It's totally up to you, okay? But this is your 5-minute ab exercise from your girl, Miss Butterfly Beast. Hope you enjoy.
Yep.
Let's do it, Butterfly.
Alrighty, we back. Hope you guys enjoyed that ab exercise video during the commercial. You can find any of those little 5-minute, 8-minute workouts on Fitness by Nori on the YouTube channel. Also, for some reason, I really like that breast cancer commercial where they talking about your girls being with you forever, right? So make sure, again, guys, we are just showing breast cancer awareness. So make sure you go and get your checkups, okay? So when we went to break, you was all the way in on the little boys needing to be taught the same thing that the girls are being taught. And I think that for me, I think it's the culture. I think the girls and the boys are being taught the same things. I think that they are choosing different routes because of the way that, that they see things or they see their experiences through their own eyes, right? So if the girls saw their mom struggling, I remember back in the day when the boys, they seen their mom struggling and stuff like that, so they would want to go out and get a job or go hustle and stuff to help mom, right? Well, mom is working and stuff, and even though she's struggling, she's still able to provide them Jordans and video games and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And so they don't have to get up and get out and get it. Well, with girls, they're seeing mama struggle regardless, and so they're wanting to have a better life for themselves and provide for themselves. Those that are listening, don't get me wrong, there's a caveat to both sides. There are some girls that venture off and do the things that they desire to do, just like there are boys that venture off and do the bad stuff, right? So it's the same thing. But I think that, yes, the roles have been reversed, and how to get that back on track, I'm just not sure, other than making them get out and work and grind.
Well, if you think about it, back then, Daddy, all you seen him do was work. You didn't
The daddies that were there.
Right. Back then, you seen him work. That's where I got my work ethic from, because early in the morning, you see Pops get up. He's getting ready for work at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So you kind of copy that. If you admire somebody, you copy them. And that's what's missing with these young brothers. We don't have older men no longer that they really see that's doing anything. If people are doing things, they didn't went somewhere else and took it, where you don't look at. I used to see older men in the neighborhood and used to say, man, I want to be like him when I get older.
They are copying the people that they desire to be like, which are entertainers, rappers,
drug dealers,
ball players, stuff like that,
Yeah.
So they are, emulating those people that they desire to be, I mean, I just don't think as many professional people like to show those particular things. I don't think that there are more professional people that are showing it and displaying it. Even down to entrepreneurship now, they're showing, as an entrepreneur, you can ride in this car and you can do this and you can travel and you can do all of that. However, you're not showing that you're the one at the beginning that's the assistant, the secretary, the scheduler, you're doing everything at the beginning until you start bringing in revenue. avenue. And so those people jump into entrepreneurship. They're thinking, oh, it's going to be this easy. And as soon as they rock out for 6 months or they don't have any more money for a while, then they're like, forget it.
Well,
Let me just go back to doing this.
Yeah, see, but us as young kids back then, we had the blessing to see regular men. You know what I'm saying? These were hardworking black men that raised families. That's reality. What these kids seeing is rappers that's not even who they say they are. You know, all that
Correct.
is rentals and all that different stuff. You know, looking like, oh, I got this, I got that, I got that. And you trying to follow something that's not real.
Correct. I mean, we had that conversation too. You know, you got the Cardi B's and the Beyoncé's,
Yeah.
you know, they're saying, you know, independent women and all of this old stuff, but they're in relationships. Even down to Meg, she's saying, you know, a hot chick summer, whatever the case may be, but she's in a relationship with Party as well. So they're in relationships, but they sell you the entertainment portion of it because that's what you desire to see. That's what's selling. That's what's popping, you know? So don't get mad at them because they're using their entrepreneurial side of things and they're selling
Right.
things, right? Because that's what you're buying. Whatever it is that there's a demand for, then the person is gonna make sure that there's an overflow of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's in
You're
demand.
paying for a fantasy.
Yeah.
Really, you know, because a lot of it'll never be real for you, you know, but I mean, it's a fantasy. You know, I sat there and watched the show, The Drink Champs. You ever watch that?
Of course, with Nori.
Now, who can afford to sit around and get drunk all day and make
And
money?
high. Oh my
And
God.
high. And
I'm gonna
just make
tell
money.
you the part that I hate it. I hate it. And I know hate is a strong word. I hate it with every cell in my body. I hate to see our black men and women, and yes, I specifically say black men and women because it is systematically set up to make us look like we are just drug addicts and stuff like that. I hate to see them sitting up on TV, interviews, shows, and stuff like that, podcasts, and they just smoking weed and drinking.
Right.
I hate
But
it
guess what?
because we have more to offer than
Yes.
that. We are stronger than that. We have, don't you know, people out here killing us and putting our melanin on the black market. They're killing us and they're taking our organs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's how powerful we are. But what they show is that we set up and we drink and smoke and do drugs and we're sex crazed and stuff like that. That's what they present to everybody, that we're just dogmatic and just animals.
But
Like that does something to me.
it can only be perceived when we allow it.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm sure them brothers is fathers and all that. Probably granddaddies. You know, if you gonna put yourself out there like that, where, you know, you just turning up liquor and smoking and all that all day long, then, you know, I mean, I'm not saying you a sellout, but I'm just saying that, you know, that's not helping our race.
I mean, and that's what's being presented, right? That's even in entertainment, like that. It's saying that if you smoking and you drinking, like you're popping, like you're hot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, I said this on the show once before. If you look at these folks' skin, you know they ain't sitting up drinking and smoking and drugging and all day or whatever with these rappers and stuff. You can look at Nori and you can see that he's like that. He
Yeah.
does. You can look at him. I mean, his lips is black, his teeth, his gums, his face. You know what I'm saying? He looks like his eyes, they're dark.
live that
He
life.
look like he drinking, he get high all day.
Yeah, he live
but
that
look
life.
at some of these rappers and stuff that speak about that. They don't look like that. Because they're not doing that all day. It's entertainment.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, if you getting these liquor contracts and all that means you got to drink my liquor. You know what I'm saying?
But you drink it. They don't have to drink it.
Right. But I'm saying if they offered something, that's how they get them. You know, it's no way in the world. They got at least 5, 6, 7 liquors up there. I'm like, yo, they got a contract with like at least 5, 6 different liquor brands. So
Right.
it's not healthy, you know. But what can we do when the people at the top of the line, they
You can
will
make a
take
decision and
any
say,
type
no,
of
I don't
money.
want to do that.
Yeah, they
I
take
mean,
any type of money.
your liver is the biggest filter of the body. If your liver is bad, you're not going to be around for long.
Right.
It's once your liver go, you going to go. because that's the biggest filter. You know, you have to be able to, and it filters out everything, anything that you put on your skin, lotions, deodorants, soaps, body sprays, anything. So that's why it is suggested that you detox the body, you know, so you can help your liver cleanse itself,
Right.
you know. So it's different stuff like that. I mean, you cannot live a healthy life and everything that you're putting in your body, including what you read and what you view, is toxic.
Right. And then your mental well-being, your mental surroundings, that kills you as quick as the things you put in your body. You know, that
Absolutely.
stress and all that different stuff. You're already not taking care of yourself. Now the stress it'll tear you apart.
It tops it off.
Yeah.
Yep. Knocks it out. So, I mean, what do we do, like, to try to get these folks back in order? I can bring it back to the being in love versus loving somebody. I was talking to a friend and they were like, you know, when I was young as a little boy or whatever, I used to sit and kiki on the phone with the little girl, and I used to hide under the bed or whatever so that my brother wouldn't try to mess with me and stuff like that and try to make fun of me while I was on the phone with the girl. And I was in love with her, right? But she ended up doing something crazy. Like what? She wanted to talk to some other boy or, you know, whatever, and she hurt my feelings and stuff. And that started the process of them doing dirt. You see what I'm saying? So how is that? So that one person, that goes back to that mental resilience, like you said, and I understand that they could have been young at the time, but as you grow up, do you think differently? This person hurt me when I was younger, and now I'm going to continue to do all women bad or whatever. You know, for me, there is nothing that a man could do like, oh, he hurt me and he broke my heart, or he was messing with another woman, this and that, so I went to a woman. Like, it's just those particular things just, for me, it just doesn't line up for me. You know, that mental strength is something serious to me. You know,
Yeah.
how can you say that some girl broke your heart when you was young and, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, right? And now you're 40 and you're still doing women wrong. That just doesn't make sense to me. So that means that you haven't arrested development. You're stuck.
Well, what you had said earlier is, first of all, what can we do? Is the people that make a difference, that's being successful, they got to come and start teaching. They got to show a good side of what they're doing to balance out the bad side, because every time we see a successful star or something, we're seeing the dark side of them. So why not show a little bit of the light? Because you got kids listening to you. You got people listening to you. Say something every so often that maybe that can impact somebody positively.
Right.
You know, I mean, let some of the people know, look, this is entertainment here. Don't
Right.
get it twisted where you go out and try to do something that's really highly impossible. You know, first of all, anybody that's out there selling drugs in today's world, with all the surveillance that they have and cameras that they got on lampposts and all that, they see you. It's just a matter of time.
Right.
They're going to
trying
get
to build
around
the
to you.
case.
Right. You know, so you're taking a chance when you got surveillance that's everywhere. You got surveillance on your own phones that they can tap in
Absolutely.
and watch you on your own phone. So if that's the line that you want to go down, you don't have to get on a record and talk about it. Mm-hmm. They got these guys out of Atlanta, I heard. I don't remember the dude. Remember they were making records?
And they were telling everything that they were doing.
And they took the whole
used that as a
organization down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. I don't know. It just,
I mean, and everything that you do, like you just said, it's on your phone. Like, they're listening to everything that you do. You know, I don't know if you've tried to, like, if you were sitting up talking about something and then you went in your phone and searched it and it just automatically popped up to the top of your list.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Because they're hearing it in the devices.
yeah,
So
it's crazy.
I agree with you. I think that you know, there are enough of us that are successful or people that's doing something with our lives in order to say something positive. You know, we say it to the young girls all the time. I think that we need to start to empower our young boys again. You know, we need to put some programs and
Has to
stuff
be a
in
balance.
place for them so that they can feel comfortable in taking their rightful position in the head of the house.
Right.
And allowing the woman to be able to relax and know that
Right.
she can be safe with
Right.
being comfortable, you know, with being calm
Right.
and not taking over everything, you know?
Right. That's what a woman's supposed to have. You know,
Yeah.
our women were always the home builder. The man brought the money home to mama. Mama dispersed out whoever needed. She knew who needed shoes. She knew who needed everything. So the woman was always the head of the house, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But the man was the one that she went through. You know, you had to clear this. Well, let me talk to your father
Right.
first. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was a need to be had. There was a pecking order.
Correct.
You know, and the woman, she handled the bulk of everything. I don't remember one time my stepdad ever went to my school, but I remember a lot of times my mother went. You know what I'm saying? So that was her job. She knew what the report card looked like before anything went down. If your report
Right.
card looked bad, she said, I'm going to tell your father. Now that's hell, you know,
Because he was looked at as the disciplinarian. He was the one that was respected. He was taking care of everything or whatever, you know. But like we keep talking about nowadays, that's not it, you know. And I'm not saying that it's right, but I guess I can understand why the woman is saying, you know, that he's not doing this, that, and the other, you know, because it's like now if I say that he's doing these things and he's not, then he gets credit for it. And which for me, I don't care who get
the
credit
hell
for
with
it. We're
credit?
partners, right?
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be doing this together. But I think that's one of the reasons why, and I'm not going to say I know that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to have children, because I wanted my kids to have more than what I had. And I wanted my kids to have their mother and their father. I had neither. You know, I wanted us to be there, and I wanted them to see good relationships and how you can communicate and how you can work through things together. I wanted them to see that. Like, I desired that more than anything. And I felt like if we would have had children and we ended up going through the divorce, then we would have like failed our kids. Or if I would have had children, I would have made a different decision and stayed there. And kids can tell when you're not happy. Me and him probably wouldn't have been happy, child. You know, but I mean, I just think that as a partner, there are different things that you operate in a different way if you're a partner, you know, versus you just taking control and taking charge of everything.
Well, I also think, ladies, you may not have that guy that sometimes figures out things like you want him to, but you can always teach your son, because you're preparing your son for the next generation of women. So if he doesn't know and he's looking at the guys that don't know, then at this point, 10, 15 years from now, our boys will be just dumb in a relationship.
Right.
So you can school your sons and sit down and talk to them and teach them how, as a woman, they mother want to be treated.
Right.
And his mission is to just fulfill that same thing with the woman that he chooses, because she's somebody else's mother, or she's going to be. So you can train your child to understand the certain things, the proper way to go about doing things, and teach him, you know.
Right, Angie, if there is a man there, if there's a man in the home, because let me tell you something, whether it's stepdad or whatever, because a lot of our men, they don't want to take on the responsibility. They don't want to take on the responsibility of their own kids, less than on somebody else's kids, right?
Right.
So if you got a man in the home and that man is teaching this boy how to be a man, stay out of it.
Yeah, just let
Stay
him
out
do-
of it.
let
And
him
that's
do
just
what he
being
do.
real. You can't teach a man how to be, you can't teach the little boy how to be a man. And you have chosen this man to be in the home with this boy, but you don't trust him to teach him how to be a man. Then that means that your picker is bad. You
Right.
pick somebody bad. You pick somebody that you don't trust. So leave him alone. Get out of it. Let him teach that boy how to be a man. Well, he's too tough on him. He's yelling at him. Guess what? This world is gonna be tough on him. The police and stuff is gonna be yelling at him.
They're gonna beat his ass in prison.
Yeah, he's teaching him how to operate and how to stand up for himself, and how you might not see it. The way that it happens doesn't work the way that we do it as women. And I know a lot of women gonna be mad at me. I know it. I know a lot of women are gonna get upset with me. But listen, somebody gotta say it. Sit down and shut up. You don't know everything. You don't. Yes, you are smart. You are intelligent. You are beautiful. You are all of these amazing things. You have your degree. You're the top of the line at your firm. You are a top executive. You are all of these things. But if you want a man, you're going to have to let a man be a man. You have to. Get out the way. Sit down. Be quiet. Operate in your feminine. Allow him to make the decisions. Allow him to make a mistake. Allow him to figure out how to fix it. Let him do it as a man. And guess what? You calm your spirit and relax and love him through it. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be upset, frustrated, stressed out, all of these old things. And if you are and you're still in a relationship and you're stressed out and all of that, that's not the man for you.
Right.
Let's just be real with it. You're sending yourself through unnecessary changes. Look, it was a guy, I was talking to him or whatever, we were dating, and he said that he doesn't want to be in a relationship. And he asked me, why did I stop talking to him? Why did I stop communicating with him? Because you said you didn't want to be in a relationship. I'm following your lead. You said you don't want to be in a relationship, right? I desire to be in a relationship. So I left him alone. Don't stress yourself out. Men are very simple. They will tell you exactly what it is that they want and exactly what they don't want. And when he said that, I gave him what he wanted. He didn't want to be in a relationship. I do. I left him alone. Listen, stop stressing yourself out. Stop being angry with him. And the sad part about it, the foundation part about it, is you're not mad with him, you're mad with you. Because you don't allow yourself to give him those 6, 8, 10 months, 10 years, and you're mad at yourself because you stayed. It's never too late to get off the bus. It's never too late to ding that bell, and when the bus comes to a stop, get your stuff and get off. It's never too late. But don't stress him out because you're upset or whatever in the process, because this is where you decided to stay with, and you decided to, change him and work on him and work. I'm going to change it and he's going to get better after a while. And I just see the potential in him and this and that. At 40 years old, 50 years old, he should already been operated in that potential. And that's on you. You can't get mad at him because you decided to stay. Okay, so go ahead and get your things and move on. Don't stress that man out. If you got a good man, listen to what that man is saying. Follow his lead. If you see him running y'all down in a path and down in the dirt and you don't want to stay, then don't stay. But don't stress him out doing it. Just go ahead and go. You don't have to. We have choices in this world today. And the choice is not to be stressed out. You choose to be stressed out, that's on you. Don't be stressed out, though. And don't stress him out in the process. Love him through it. Let him make his decisions, make his mistakes. Love him through it and keep it moving. You can do more within that process versus yelling at him, cussing him out, calling him a dog, telling him he ain't nothing and he ain't gonna never be nothing and this and that.
Well, then you like them type of men. If you with a man that ain't nothing and never gonna be nothing, that's your man. So what it says about you.
Exactly.
So I mean, like I said, sometimes life spurts out idiots.
Yeah.
And some of them, they in idiotic relationships. You can't make sense out of idiotic things. But keep this in mind.
If it's toxic.
Most animals, they teach their kids to survive.
Yeah.
And they let them go.
Yep. They release them. Yep.
Most of the fathers never there.
Yep.
They never there. This woman is raising the young to rear them, to let them go for them to do the same cycle over and again. I'm not saying for you to do that, but I'm just saying that we can't make excuses because, oh, we don't have a good dad and that's why he don't get involved with community centers. There's different things that you can get involved and get your kids connected to that they will get into big brothers and different situations like that.
Right.
So you can't use that man as an excuse because, again, some men is not in your life because they were bad men. 9/11, there's a lot of people that probably lost good husbands and good wives, you know. So the relationship was great. Sometimes people just taking out your life.
Yeah.
So you just can't blame, oh, man's not in the life. Man's not. My mother died when I was 8 months.
8 months old.
So I never really had a chance to have a bonding experience with my mother. My father, I would see him pass by in his nice car. But it was never like, you know, a man in my life to grow me up. My stepfather, he was a guy that was just working.
Right.
And I see him rarely. I had to learn a lot from the other men that was in the neighborhood that would talk to you, pull you to the side, and hey.
But
you know,
G, did you go and did you talk to someone that could pour into you? Did
well,
you
I'm saying
talk
the
to
older men in the neighborhood would, you know, pull you over. Like, you know, they used to send me to the store. I was about 7 years old. The little dudes, the older dudes in the neighborhood were like, yo, shorty, run the store for me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the other kids, nah, I don't want to go to the store. I go to the store. They give me a quarter and they tell me, say, look, we're teaching you now to get out there and get you a hustle.
Yeah.
You know, that way you have money in your pocket. You don't have to beg your mother for some candy money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I had my little change in the house all the time because I always would go to the store. And when I got to a point where I turned 8 years old, I had enough startup money to tell my mother to take me to get some newspapers, and I started my paper route.
Nice.
From 8 years old. And I never looked back after that. I just always knew that if I wanted nice things, I had to be the provider. I can't look at somebody else and think they're going to have a want to make me look the way I want to look. So, well, Nori, tell the people.
I think we done wrap this thing up. Look, we started on one end and ended on another. But that's a part of having a good relationship with yourself. You have to make sure that relationship is cultivated and taken care of first before you can go and have a relationship with someone else.
Right.
A lot of times when you're toxic, you end up taking that toxicity into another relationship and you end up hurting that person, you know? So make sure that that foundational relationship with yourself is top of the line first, and everything else will flow from there. So thank you guys for supporting us and watching Fitness by Nori. You know, we're here every Friday at 12 noon. Listen, there's no telling what we're going to talk about. We're going to get it to the point to where we're allowing calls and stuff to come through and all of that. G and I were talking about that. So you guys can, you know, input your suggestions or give us some advice or talk to us or ask us some questions, you know. So those things are coming. So thank you guys for supporting us, and we will see you guys on next week.
On Dr. Nori.
On Dr. Nori.
Dr. Nori. All right, see y'all later.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable, and with you when you had your heart broken. They were with you when you shared your love with the world, and with you when she became your world. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them?
You don't know my name.
Hi guys, I'm your girl, Miss Butterfly Beats, coming to you today with another ab exercise, okay? A 5-minute ab workout. What I have here is my timer on my phone. We're gonna do 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds rest. which is really your transition time to the next exercise, okay? So we are going to do flutter kicks. Everything's gonna be on the mat. We're gonna do flutter kicks, hip raises, reverse crunches, straight leg toe touches, and 6-inch hold. We're gonna do a static hold at the end, all right? Like I said, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds transition. All right, we're gonna take it to the mat. We're gonna run that back 2 times for 5 minutes, all right? Let's take it to the mat. Right, we're gonna start with flutter kicks. I'm gonna go ahead and start the timer. I have my head off the mat for a little bit more of intensity. You can go flat on the mat if you want, but for me, I want more of a challenge. I'm lifting it up. We're almost there. Come on, flutter kick. Our next exercise is